J.K. Rowling, Stephanie Meyer, John Green, and Phyllis Reynolds-Naylor. These four young adult authors have one specific commonality. Their books have been challenged and or banned in schools across America. Topics such as sexuality and nudity, magic and witchcraft, graphic language, religious viewpoints, violence, and mortality have been listed among the many reasons why these authors' books have been challenged. Banning books may have more of a negative than a positive long-term effect on children, especially considering the fact that children are exposed to very similar, if not exactly the same themes through other forms of media. But before we get into that, let's first understand what it means to challenge and or ban a book. Before a book is ever banned, it is challenged. A challenge is defined as an effort on the part of a group or individual to restrict or remove certain content from school curriculum and school libraries. Banned books are those that have been successfully eradicated from a school. Just because a book is banned, however, does not mean that it is out of every single school in America. For example, The Fault in Our Stars by John Green is banned, but it's only been removed from one school. Usually, people are said to try to ban books with the best intentions in mind. Challenge books typically hold topics that some individuals find as unsuitable for the target audience. These topics often include sexual themes, drug use and abuse, and darker subjects such as death and suicide. While some books are banned with the intentions of protecting children, the question still remains, is there any real benefit to removing certain books from school buildings? When considering the legitimacy of challenging books, it may be considered that children are exposed to similar themes through other forms of media. These unsuitable themes come from television and music and the internet and just the general network of friends. On average, children between the ages of 2 and 11 spend 28 hours a week watching television. Television shows and movies often depict violence and adult themes, even the shows that are geared more towards children. For example, the Toy Story movies. Those are known to contain quite a few adult jokes. They also include some mild violence, and yet it maintains a G rating. A 1963 experiment conducted by Bandura, Ross, and Ross showed that children who were shown films containing violence were more likely to act out violently, whereas those who were shown aggression-free videos did not. This may be a real-life application of monkey see, monkey do. Children tend to learn a lot just through simple observation. If they see physical aggression, they are more likely to become violent. There's also the added fact that children tend to gain a lot of their sexual information from television, which may provide them with quite a bit of misinformation. It has even been shown that watching sex on TV increases the likelihood of a teenager having sex. That is, having sex while they're still a teenager, not necessarily throughout their life, because there's a good chance that it'll happen either way throughout their life. Like television, music that is very popular among teens and children is loaded with sexual content and drug use. Not only does music introduce these themes to young individuals, it actually promotes taking part in these activities. Lady Gaga's Love Game, Nicki Minaj's Anaconda, Fergie's Fergalicious, and My Humps. These four songs promote promiscuous activities in females. Yeah, it's my humps, my lovely lady lumps. Society, jump off a cliff. Even if the parents don't allow their children to listen to this inappropriate music, it doesn't necessarily stop them from doing stuff around with friends. And nowadays, the internet. This is in addition to the details that reign far beyond the control of the parent, such as the inappropriate jokes that are stereotypically uttered by middle school boys, or the inappropriate subject matter on the cover of magazines in the store checkout line. I'm looking at you, Cosmopolitan. Unless the parents decide to just hide their children under a rock until his or her 18th birthday, there's no way to completely shield a child from these inappropriate themes. Yet, books with such themes continue to be challenged in schools across America. Unlike watching TV or listening to music, reading actually provides a child or teen with educational benefits. Largely increased reading comprehension. An individual has to be mentally focused in order to take in the story when they're reading. This is unlike television, which is pretty well known to be a completely mindless activity. By actively thinking about and mentally interacting with the information, an an individual may be more likely to question the actions that are taking place in the story. Among the most common reasons for a book to be challenged or banned is sexual dialogue and situations. Many people fear that teens learning about sexual interactions, this includes safe sex and the negative effects that sex can have on a person's life, will actually encourage teenagers to go out and do the thing. Education about sex, however, has not been shown to actually increase sexual activity in individuals. No, young adult books should by no means take place of a formal sexual education. These fictional stories show how physical intimacy affects people physically, emotionally, mentally, all that. One major example that comes to mind for me is John Green's Looking for Alaska. This book has been heavily challenged for a sexually explicit oral sex scene. When speaking on the subject of his book being taught in an 11th grade English class, John Green expressed that, and I quote, "The scene was awkward, unfun, disastrous, and wholly unerotic. I wanted to draw a contrast between that scene, where there's a lot of physical intimacy, but it's ultimately very emotionally empty, and the scene that immediately follows it, where there's not a serious physical interaction, but there's this intense emotional connection." Green continues to state that the scene is arguing against rapid sexual interactions, not for them. Another challenged and banned book is Go Ask Alice by Anonymous. This book has been challenged due to the frequent drug use throughout the story. Go Ask Alice is the diary of a young anonymous woman who gets caught up in the world of drugs. The book does not glorify the lifestyle. This book includes the woman's constant promises to herself to stop doing drugs, rape while under the influence of drugs, effort to be a prostitute in order to obtain more drugs, and ultimately her dying of an overdose. I would like to note that the two aforementioned books may easily coincide with frequent school curriculum. For example, Go Ask Alice could be paired up with the Just Say No campaign, and books that are deemed sexually explicit, such as Looking for Alaska, may be used for sexual education and psychology courses. These two books provide a contextual story. Instead of saying, yeah, this is what happens when you do drugs, kids, this is what happens when you have sex, it gives them an idea of what it actually means. According to Goodreads, among the most popular young adult books are those that have been banned in schools. Some book series, such as Harry Potter and Twilight, have actually been accredited with teenagers' increased interest in reading. Yet many parents scorn these books for containing satanic themes. Being able to read is known to be a very important tool in American society, and children enjoy being able to choose what they get to read. If children get to pick their own books, it is more likely that they will enjoy reading as they grow older. By banning books in school, some of that choice is revoked from the children. When children find reading to be unenjoyable, they are less likely to improve their reading skills. Children who do not improve their reading skills in turn become functionally illiterate adults. Now, this does not mean that they are completely incapable of reading, it just means that they cannot read well enough to function fully in American society. In summary, the act of banning books, while it may be met with the best of intentions, may be more harmful to children in the long run. Banning books is a practice that does very little to protect children from inappropriate media. Children will still learn about sex and drugs from peers and television and music and the internet. Unlike those media forms, however, books actually provide the reader with a deeper content. Books show that there are consequences to the actions of individuals. Additionally, banning books limits the choices that children has and makes reading less enjoyable for them. Banned Book Week is September 27th to October 3rd, so when that happens, I want all of you to go out and find a book that's been banned and read it. Let me know down in the comments below what book or books that you'll be reading during this week. Like this video if you liked it, share with your friends so that everyone can get involved, and as always, I will see you next time. Bye-bye!